I'm Steven Houghton, and I played firefighter Gregg Blake. Well, funnily enough, it was my first television casting ever. So I'd never actually cast for a television program, which is amazing actually to get a regular role in a big TV series like that. So I was in a musical called Martin in the West End, and Corinne Rodriguez, who cast London's Burning, um, basically I was alternate to the leading man, who was Ian Glenn, the actor Ian Glenn, at the Prince Edward Theatre in Martin, and he was off that night, so I was on for his role, and Corinne Rodriguez had come to watch the show, and so obviously saw me play his part, and then went from there, got me a casting to London's Burning, had I think it was 2 or 3 recalls, and then got offered the job. So it was really kind of like really lucky and life changing for me personally. Yeah. I mean, the guy I took over from was the Australian firefighter, and he was called Skippy, I think. But I didn't have a nickname. No, well, not that I knew of anyway. No, I didn't. No, yeah. Well, I lived in southeast London at the time, and funnily enough, a series I did after that called Bugs was also filmed in southeast London, and London's Burning was literally filmed at the fire station up the road from where I lived. So it was all quite strange, really, because it was, and all the locations were kind of around East London. So it was all very commutable for me. And obviously, a lot of the scenes were filmed at Dock Head, which is the fire station there. But yeah, all around that area, really, in different locations, in hospitals. Dulwich, we did quite a few. Did quite a big shout there. I remember someone trapped in a car. Yeah, I mean, it was a really varied, exciting series to be on, especially as a first TV series. It was very eye-opening. It was a great way to learn working in that kind of field, really. So it was a real amazing first TV job. You have to go for a there again, the training centre was in southeast London as well. I think it was near, yeah, it was in southeast London. And you have to go for 2 weeks, I think, if I can remember rightly. 2 weeks. And basically, I remember it was before the Christmas period. So I went for 2 weeks and literally worked with real firemen. And they showed me the ropes, showed me, car cutters and how you do this, that, and the other. So very interesting, actually, very interesting, and really essential when you're going to work on something like London's Burning, so you can make it look as real as possible. But whenever you are, I'm sure that some of the other actors told you, whenever you are working with fire or at a shout, that there are always firemen, like real firemen, on location with you, just advising you, just keeping it real, really, so you're doing the correct procedures. So yeah, we did. I think it was about a 2 week course. Yeah, it was good fun actually. It was really good fun, but also really interesting and necessary. Yeah. I mean, like Glenn Murphy, he was phenomenal. He was great, and you know what? I think he made me feel really comfortable quite quickly. Such a nice guy, so down to earth. But most of the actors, I mean, it's kind of, I suppose you've got the main cast, but then you've got a lot of guest characters as well. So everyone is kind of there to make everyone feel comfortable, really, because therefore then you'll produce your best work. If you're feeling on edge at all, when you're acting or not feeling totally secure with what you're doing, then it shows. And so, the older cast members know that, and yeah, we're really helpful. And it was how can I put it? It was because also you've got to also all the technical side of it. Like, I know it sounds silly, but it's like sliding down the fire poles and how you do things properly. A lot of it was advised by the actors. rather than going to the real fireman all the time. They said, just do this, or that's how you do it. And it was very, yeah, it was a real close-knit kind of cast. And I got to know all of them. I got to know all of them individually. Yeah. So it's a good cast to work with. My whole the whole series for me was just a privilege to be part of. But I suppose for me, really, my main storyline was my storyline around the song that I sang. So I sang a song called "Wind Beneath My Wings," and I think it was in episode 6 or 7. And so there was a big story, a big kind of like love kind of storyline around that with a girl, a girl, and then it kind of climaxed in me singing this song. Was it a charity night? I think it was a charity night, which was quite exciting because at the time, Simon Cowell was involved, and he produced the single, and then I made an album, and then so that I suppose personally, because that actually changed my life. That actual scenario of releasing a single. I know a lot of people say actors that release singles, but I was actually a singer before that, obviously coming from musicals. But it did actually change my life, and still has to this day, really, as in opportunities. And I just had a son at the time. I've now got a son and a daughter. But I just had a son at the time, so it changed what I could, my finances and my opportunities and my life. Because I was only a young guy then. But I suppose apart from that, that was personally. But apart from that, it's just been involved, like you said before, in all the fires and seeing how it works. Because when you watch something on screen, it seems so seamless. But when you're actually behind the scenes working on it, there's a lot goes into it, a lot of work and a lot of getting it right, especially when you're working with something as unpredictable as fire. Because you can't tell fire what to do, can you? You can't say you stay there, and so it was yeah, there were lots of people working on it to make it the production it was, and it was a fantastic show, wasn't it? It was before, wasn't it? Because that when I did, I'd recorded it. I think I'd recorded it, ready for release, and so the package was ready. But then obviously that was the launch pad when I actually did it live on the show. And then the record company got into motion, and then I did all the This Mornings and GMTVs and all the TV shows promoting it, which was great. I mean, if you think about it as well, before I got London's Burn, like I said, it was my first TV casting, which is unheard of anyway, getting your first regular role from a first casting. But then all of a sudden, within I suppose 8 to 6 months, I was then working with a top record company, and it really snowballed. It really snowballed from being a jobbing actor to just being really busy with loads of different. It was really exciting, actually. It was really exciting, but it kind of went in a blur as well. I was so busy doing so much stuff. I'm very lucky as well. I mean, it was a very lucky scenario to be in. Yeah. So, and like I said, it did change my life for the rest of my life to this day. So it was great. Yeah, he was quite pedantic about how he worked. Actually, he was very specific, very on top of what he did. I think after London's Burn, he went into being a screenwriter, if I'm right. I think he wrote dramas in under a different name. But yeah, no, nice guy, and like everyone else was really helpful. Yeah, yeah. I didn't actually do that many scenes with him. Most of my scenes were done with John Alford, Glenn, and because you get the scenes where you're in the what's it called, the kind of like the hangout room together. You get those kind of scenes, but then my main storylines, and with Zoe as well, I had a lot of scenes with Zoe. So yeah, and Michael Garner, I had quite a few scenes with Michael Garner as well. So yeah. I suppose John Alford was a bit of a Jack the Lad. Clive Wood's, his character was quite, his character was a good strong kind of, a little bit dark kind of, his was an interesting character to play. So probably within the cast I was in, probably Clive's role. He was a bit kind of a baddie, but wasn't. You know, and a good actor Clive was as well. He was, yeah, probably that role. I'd say that role. What was his name? His role was called, what was his name? He was called, Clive's role was called, what was his name? Jack, wasn't it? Jack, that's right, yeah. Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was my first kind of venture into working in TV, first of all. So I mean, the other side of it, where all the catering, all of a sudden you've got all this food made for you every day, nice food, and you get picked up and dropped off at your home by a car every day, and then what goes with being on a show like that, like a. So I think in its day, it was, when I was in it, it was highly rated, wasn't there? There's lots, huge viewing figures. You get obviously all the interviews and the press, and yeah. So I mean, the whole thing, the whole scenario of being on drama like that is, it's just like, it's a different world. It is a different world, and it was, like I said, a great learning curve, and an absolute honour to be part of its history, because it was a huge programme of its time, and really should be brought back and refreshed and done again, because you can do so much with that kind of with fire and what comes with a fire service. That I think it'd be great to reboot, don't you? It'd be great to reboot it and kind of bring it back. But what a great show it was. I've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for interviewing me.